Mr. Merritt will be followed by Mendia Whittier. Mr. Merritt, yours shows a group. Do you have your group representatives?
No, ma'am.
So it'll just be the 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. It's been a while. I think the last time I spoke with you all, I told you a story about hoarding from Dr. Seuss. Today I'm going to tell a little different story. It's actually by a Vietnamese Buddhist named Thich Nhat Hanh, who was protesting the prosecution of the Buddhists in South Vietnam by the South Vietnamese government. The government was forcing conversion to Catholicism. They were doing that by stealing land, shooting detractors, raping, and pillaging. And the Buddhists, as you all probably know, aren't really known for their austerity. They live generally quiet lives. They often engage in long vows of silence, months at a time, engage in long, protracted fasts, and generally live self-sacrificing lifestyles. On June 11th of 1963, Thich Nhat Hanh went to a busy intersection in Saigon, and he lit himself on fire, and he burned to death in protest of the treatment of the Buddhists by their government. It's crazy, maybe. But in often marginalized and muted communities, extreme acts often are the only thing left to do. Now, images of the term that they use, I actually just learned it tonight, mollification, lighting yourself on fire. Images of his mollification went all across the world. In fact, President John Franklin Kennedy saw the image. He called it the most jarring image in history. And it was eventually our government who went in and toppled that leader based on his prosecution of the Buddhists in the city, in Saigon. I often thought when speaking to this panel in the past that you all remind me of Buddhists. You kind of sit there with your stoicism and you listen. And you listen to the crowd. And for us, I'm sure for many of you, this is very personal. Since the time I spoke here last year, I've sat with mourning families, to children who've been killed due to police brutality. Several. I've dealt with the devastation of the Craig family, the lasting impact that it has on the community, and it's happening again. Pastor Sharon mentioned a moment ago of an August event from this year where a black woman called for help and herself ended up brutalized, tasered, and drugged from her home, feet away from her child. It's happening again. Now, I'm not going to light myself on fire, but I'm not the Buddhist in this situation. You are. We don't need quiet, reserved Buddhists on this council. We need Buddhists on fire. I beg you. My last time addressing you before will be constrained by litigation. I beg you to use your voice and use your position to take action to curb the culture of police brutality festering in Fort Worth. Thank you.